What's up, sir? How are you?
Doing well. How are you, brother?
Man, it's been a while.
It has been.
It's been a while. I used to see you at fights more often, but I don't really get to those that much anymore with the family and dude.
Yeah, married life, kids.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can't get out and go do things you want to do.
No, I mean, when honestly, Friday nights seem to be like the only night we can do something, and a lot of times that's not going to be the number one thing on my wife's list she wants to do. You know what I mean? So like, but I still try to stay in the loop, man. You know, as far as keeping up with all our local people, everyone who's been off to the UFC, done their stuff, you know, come back and trying to stay involved with everyone, you know.
We've got a lot of people that are getting ready to go to the UFC too. We've got quite a few. Kobe Bradford will probably be there in the next year or two.
Dude, I remember him. Okay, yeah.
Kobe's a freaking athlete.
Yeah, dude, that dude's a stud.
Let me just tell you, you know, he accomplished a lot with very little actual training. Somebody actually teaching him, and now that you teach him, you'll see some good things. He's in his last little bit amateur and pro, I think he won like is that good?
Yeah.
Am I good?
Yeah,
I think he's won like 8 out of his last 9, and of those 8, like 7 of them haven't made it out of the first round. So, well, he's got something going.
Yeah, that's legit, man. That's legit. Well, and then before we get into your recent wins and endeavors, like let's take it back to, because honestly, I guess met you in passing. We never really trained together that much, but I've just met you in passing just from being in the local scene for so long. But you've been in it. You were in it before I was. So I mean, when did you start?
So let's see, 31 years ago, 32 years ago.
Okay.
So
quite a while away.
Yeah. So I come from the days of Ray Paxton and Charlton Young.
Right.
So like those were my two guys. Like when I was a kid going in Charlton Young's taekwondo, kickboxing, and then taekwondo, then kickboxing. Ray Paxton saw me kickbox, and he came and said, "Hey, I can work with that kid," and that was there. Life was never the same again. Seen a lot of people, done a lot of things. I have people come up to me all the time. Oh yeah, I was at Charlton's back in the day. Oh, super.
Yeah.
Man, you can call it brain damage or just so many people that you've seen. Maybe a little bit of both.
Oh yeah, definitely a little bit of both.
A little bit of both. A little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. But there's been a lot of people. I've been very blessed to work with a lot of really good people and meet a lot of great people. And Shreveport Bossier gets a bad rap with a lot of people, but it's a great place to have support.
Yeah, it's an interesting area, man. There's been a lot of stars, a lot of athletes, a lot of. I mean, people put these stigmas on certain areas, man. Anything can come out of anywhere. You know what I mean?
True.
Giving somewhere a bad rap or giving someone too much praise, saying this is a great place to raise a fighter, or a musician. I was like, dude, I think it's a combination of everything. The environment, the right place at the right time, genetics, all those things.
Oh, it is. There's a good recipe for it if you think about it like a pot of gumbo.
Yeah.
In the South, everybody's got a little thing. Everybody's got their own little way to make their gumbo, roux, everything. So yeah, absolutely, I agree with that.
Well, when did you get into fighting pro?
I turned pro, and good grief, probably it's been a minute. 2007, 2008.
See, that was right when that's literally right when I first started training. So yeah.
Yeah. So 2007, 2008. I'd been an amateur since I was 6. So by that point, 13, 14 years as an amateur, and now probably been just as a pro just as long now. I'm old. So,
you still got some left in the tank,
I still got a few bullets in the chamber. This is it. This is like, if I was a world famous band, this would be the retirement tour. This is the last year. So 20.
So you're gonna keep going. You're gonna.
So this is it. This is the year. So I've got kind of a game plan that I've got in my head that I've talked to my family and training partners about, and Brent Mason and everybody, and we've kind of, James Johnson, we've all just kind of having a game plan of an exit strategy to kind of go out with a bang, and kind of that way I can look back and say I tried and did everything that I could and finish my career,
Yeah.
And that's where I'm at.
Is that one of those things where, like, well, let's talk about this recent title win you got. You can pull the belt out if you want, bro.
Oh, sure.
I want everybody to see it, the people that are actually on the camera and stuff, but talk about how this come about and this little recent win here, bro. Hell yeah, there it is.
So
it's a UBO Continental Champion right here.
Yes. So let's see. I've had a lot of stuff happen in my personal life, over the past decade that's kind of stopped me from being what and achieving the goals I wanted to, right? And those are excuses, and everybody's got them. Everybody has excuses and things of that nature. Sorry.
No, you're good. You're good.
But there's still factors in life, right? And let's see. I guess the past year, about June or July, I was like, you know what? I don't want to go out the way I have been. I want to show everybody that I can still fight. I know what I'm talking about. I'm not somebody that says they did stuff and didn't do it, or living off somebody's name or anything of that nature. I want to show you that I can do it. And so I trained a little bit, and I was like, I contacted James Johnson, who comes from Ray Paxton too, and James and I, he's been like a big brother to me since I was knee-high to a grasshopper. I've known him forever, and we have kind of the same ideology when it comes to boxing, right? And I was like, come hold pads for me, see if I can still do it. It's like, yeah, you can. So I fought in September. I fought at a weight I should never, ever fight at.
Which was what?
I fought at 160.
Okay.
Okay, so for 5'8", my frame, it's just not – it's not what it should be, and I fought a guy that was not the most skilled, but he was tough. He came to win, and it was a tough fight, and it was a eye-opening experience. I was like, I still have something in the tank, so let's go. I got a phone call to go fight somebody in Colombia, and I fought and won. I knocked him out in the first round, but I got back down to 147.
Yeah, I
dropped to where I should have been, and I was like, wow, that felt really good. Sat back and I kind of formulated a plan. I was like, you know what? I kind of want to see if I can do this a little bit. I won again my next fight, and I got offered a title fight, and I was like, well, we're here. I might as well see if we can accomplish goals. So we did. So now, that's kind of where we're at, and kind of have a game plan for the rest of the year. It's one of those things that I've got it written down. I've got it on my phone, got a little, in Apple Notes, you've got the little dots you can sit there and check off, and so that's where we're at. It's one of those things I don't tell too many people about. I just want to see what I can do in a year, and because I feel like if I talk about it, I jinx it, right?
I mean, there's that superstition, I guess, man. I don't know. Like, there's a lot of superstition in combat sports.
There is.
Isn't that funny? It's just like there's a lot of things. Like, there's superstition in like sports betting.
There is.
There's in sports, and like, if I don't touch, if I don't lace my shoes just this way, then I may not. You know what I mean? My footwork might not, or just weird shit.
I'm not superstitious in anything.
Yeah.
But fighting, there's a way that I wrap my hands. I do, things just the way you do things, and it's great. It messes with me a little bit, but no, I've just got a list of things that I'm going to accomplish, and I'm going to go out with, and then in a year I'm going to decide what I want to do. If I want to get fat and eat, and do everything, go from there.
Yeah, I think the superstition thing is interesting though, because like, I feel like everyone has that.
Everyone does. You should.
They have something, and I think it's just because you care so much.
Yeah. If you don't have that, like, what are you doing? Yeah. It's for me. It's how I wrap my hands when I fight. I put my shoes on and my cup on. Then I put my. It's just weird little checklist things that I do. It's just rhythm that I've done for forever, and it's just. Or Matt, before we're right down in downtown Bossier. There was Cobb's Barbecue. Right?
Yeah.
So I went there from the time I was born in a carrier until it closed. Like, when it closed, it broke my heart.
It closed like right before this stuff took off down here.
Yeah, they did.
Shortly after. Yeah.
Which is ridiculous to me. Like,
it was like the worst time.
The worst time ever. You survived 60 years, and right when this air is about to pop off, you know what we're going to do? We're going to close down. We're not going to let anybody know. We're just going to come in on a Wednesday and close. Anyway, used to, when I would fight at the Municipal Auditorium and everything is an amateur kickboxing and everything else, I would go to Cobb's. That would be my meal. Well, for my last fight in Shreveport, I talked to Sean. Shout out to Sean. He now works at the brewery right over here. Flying yeah. And I was like, Sean, what would it take you to make me a brisket and some chopped beef? He's like, gave me a number. I was like, done. Cash apped. I was like, yes, now we're starting to feel like we're in the rhythm again.
Yeah.
And after I won, I was like, it's because of the chopped beef. It's because of the Cobb's chopped beef. So
yeah, they had an interesting recipe. It was good though.
It was good. Look, it was what I was raised on. Like, my daughter, who'll be 13 Friday on Valentine's Day. Shout out to my daughter Emma. It's crazy to have a 13-year-old. Anyway, she was in there. I've got pictures of her eating chopped beef with a spoon when she's less than a year old. I mean, it was just where our family went, and in kind of like a local institution. But that you talk about, we're chasing rabbits now, but you talk about superstition. That was mine. That was just my habit.
I'm trying to think any that I had, man. I think it was more, I was always in my head so much criticizing like specific movements and stuff. Mm-hmm. Not so much like, oh, did you win? Oh, why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? Or why don't you get caught in this? And then I would go back and be like, well, I'll focus too much on this. I think the biggest problem with how we came up, and I don't know if you felt this too in training, but like it almost got monotonous. We were doing the same shit every day. Well, not in a bad way, mm-hmm. but it was like, okay, you do your bag work. You warm up with the jump rope, then you do your bag work, and then you might spar that day, or you might do some tech sparring. But nothing was ever, I guess because there were so many people trying to come up, nothing was ever specialized to get better at certain things you weren't good at, I think. And I think it just might have been because we were all just knuckleheads and trying to whoop each other's ass. I don't know,
So, I understand where you're coming from because I've seen it a lot.
Yeah.
I've been blessed where that was never me. Like in the people I train, I drill fundamentals a lot.
Yeah.
Everything builds from fundamentals. Like,
well, there's so much more knowledge with everything now too. I feel like there was limited information, passed down information, and then you watch this and it worked for this person, so you keep doing it that way. You know what I mean?
Right. So, I've been very blessed in my life to have worked with a lot of really good trainers and been around it so long, not getting it second or third hand from actually having experienced it. Right. Yeah. So that's one thing I've told people is like when I trained somebody, when Jesse Henry passed away, right.
Yeah.
That hurt a lot.
R.I.P.
Yeah.
Great kid, man.
Yeah. When that happened, it's one of those things to where people don't understand when you actually are not just teaching someone, but you're their trainer. Right. You're passing upon to them something that you've learned, you've bled for, you've sweat for. You're passing that on, and Jesse and I would have a lot of talks like that. Kobe and I do. One of my kids that is now playing baseball, Christian. Miracle Whip. All these kids, like I give a part of who I am to you, right? And it's so important to me to tell and they understand it because I bled for that knowledge. I'm giving it to you because I care. I'm giving it to you because I want you to be better. I want you not just to be where I am. I want you to be better than what I ever was. And if I can be just a small part of that, that's great. But back to what you're saying, when I was a kid, same thing. We'd come in there, same monotonous everything every day, jump rope, shadow box, bag work, maybe pads, maybe sparring. But I was always blessed to have somebody that pushed me, that saw potential in me, to sit there and go, okay, you're doing A and B right, but C is wrong, right? Let's work on C, because if we can fix A and B are great, but if we can fix C, that'll make A and B better.
Yeah.
So I've always been blessed to have that. I can't stress that enough that I was blessed. I've had a lot of people that cared and saw potential in me, so that they passed along knowledge to me.
Yeah, man, I think it's important. I think when you take ego out of it, that helps a lot. There's a lot of ego back then too.
There still is to a certain extent. Oh yeah,
isn't it so funny how much drama there always is in like
the little fight community?
Yeah, the fight communities, and I feel that's probably everywhere. It's not just here.
It's everywhere.
I'm sure it's spread everywhere because you've traveled and fought everywhere. So
it's everywhere. I can't say that I haven't ever been involved in it.
Yeah,
the drama.
It happens, man. But especially when you have multiple fighters. But it is interesting that happens so much, and I think it all weighs down to ego mostly.
It does, and testosterone. We're in a huge testosterone sport. It's like, you think you're that? Come see me. It's all that. And whether it's and I believe there's positives in it and there's negatives.
Well, I mean, the competitive aspect of it's great. I just think that sometimes you're in a lose-lose situation if you're in the same community and trying to bring someone down, I think. You know what I mean?
In some ways, I can see that.
Yeah.
In other ways, sometimes, boom. No worries. And sometimes I see it as charlatans going out there.
Yeah.
And so you have charlatans out there that sit there and try and portray themselves to be one way.
Yeah.
And you know, that's not as a big a thing in boxing as it is in like the martial arts community.
Oh, mixed martial arts is crazy.
In the martial arts community, you have people that are you know, just order a belt from Century and like, I'm a black belt now, and they go out teaching and proclaiming them to be something, and they're not.
Yeah, man, the McDojos. That's been a problem since the 80s.
Oh, it's been a problem for a long time. Probably before 70s, then. Probably for our well before our where we were born. But you know, we're very blessed around this area to have some great trainers from, you know, and martial artists from now going back. You know, we were talking about Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu a moment ago before we started talking, and before that the big thing was probably Taekwondo, you know, and you know, and before that was karate and kung fu and all of that. You know, you can go back and look, and we've got people from here in every Hall of Fame you can have. And I'm sure every place is like that, but for here it's really cool because, you know, Shreveport's the biggest small town you can find.
It really is, man. It is. It's there's 500,000 people here, but yet I can't go anywhere without seeing someone I know.
No,
you know what I mean?
It's crazy, or someone knowing you,
right?
You know, and it's crazy, and it's really cool, and it's like the girl I'm dating is awesome. Like, I love her to death. She's just amazing, and her kids are all awesome. And I'll take her sons with me someplace. We'll either go play golf or, you know, I don't have a son. I've only got a daughter. So it's really cool for me to experience the little boy aspect of it. I'm like, oh, hey, no, you know, I snap my fingers at my daughter and she wants to cry. I snap my fingers at them. They're like, what the hell? You got to put a knot on their head and sit there. But no, you take them place and they're like, how did that guy know you? I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know, buddy. Like, you just always be nice to everybody. You never know who someone is or what they're going through or anything. Just be nice to them. Okay. All right, I'll do that. So it's really cool. I mean, you've got kids, so you understand. Yeah,
man. Yeah, that's just how it is. It's really interesting. I'm in a position now where I'm not the one. The attention's, I don't want it on me. I want it on whoever I'm talking to, like you. You know what I mean? But there's advertently you still get some attention too. Absolutely. So it's just like I just want to keep I just want to level the playing field and give. If I want to talk to you, I want to give you opportunity to talk. You know what I mean? Like, absolutely. And I think we're missing a lot of that, and it doesn't even have to be on like a podcast or anything. Just in life, man. Like, there's so many conversations that could have been had that weren't because of something got in the way or whatever it may be. You know what I mean?
Completely agreed. That's part of the problem our country is in right now.
Yeah.
And not to get political.
Here we go.
No.
Hey,
is we need to have conversations.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean we don't have to agree.
Yeah.
Just have a conversation and get it out there and realize we're humans. We're not all adversaries. Just because you see I see that as colors blue, and you're like, well, it's more aqua. Who cares?
Yeah, we can still
get along and be friends. We can sit there and have dinner and have a conversation, and not hate each other because we have difference of opinions.
Yeah, man, that's been something that's been, I don't know, that who knows, man. It's put in place to separate us, unite us both at the same time, do whatever. You know what I mean? But I completely agree, man. It's a lot easier just to have a conversation. But and that's the same thing in the fight world too, man. I think if there's conversations had a long time ago, there wouldn't be so many damn issues.
Probably.
And I'm talking about from the top all the way down.
All the way down.
Yeah.
All the way down. But like, so one of the reasons that like podcasts are so huge now is because they're simply conversations.
Yeah.
They're not clipping and pasting things like CBS is in trouble for right now. It's an actual conversation.
Yeah, you can't BS someone for an hour, 2 hours, 3 hours. There's no way.
No, you can't.
And there's no questions here. I don't have a prompt or a script. If you're not watching this and you're just listening to it, like there's no script. I'm literally just like, well, shit, I know this guy. Yeah. We got some commonalities. Let's talk about stuff. Right. You know what I mean?
One thing I'm upset about is that I've seen you post barbecue all the freaking time,
yeah.
and there's no barbecue here. Dude, I'm pretty pissed about that. Just so we're clear,
dude. It's funny because like my barbecue endeavors are like all like catering or like competition. And a lot of catering stuff. So like I don't have the restaurant bug. I'm not really interested in doing that. I like to know what I have coming, and it's like, okay, well, I can prepare for it and make sure it's right. The restaurant thing is a whole other endeavor. It's cool, but
it's a whole another can of worms, I'm sure.
Yeah, for sure. So, but yeah, dude, you need to. Well, I'll talk to you after this about. We got some stuff coming up though. There's some stuff coming up down here. Well, I can say it on here. I mean, there's like March 8th. We have a huge competition down here if you're in town. which I don't know. When are you fighting again? What's your plan?
March 15th.
Oh,
next fight.
I definitely can't be eating none of that.
No,
then,
I can't have it. Too much sodium at that point. But no, my big thing is like I love to cook. Like if you ask anybody, I love to cook. So the Christmas present my dad got me was a cast iron Dutch oven. So
nice.
I got just anything. But I used to love watching barbecue shows on TV, like competition barbecue shows with like Myron Mixon and
awesome.
and all of them. I actually wanted to go to one of his schools. So when I see people doing competition barbecue, I'm like,
it's fun, man. It's fun. There's a lot to it. It's completely different. I guess I've got to see both sides of it now. It's different from serving it, preparing it at scale, and then just doing it for one dish and trying to turn it in and compete against it. They're two very different animals. So I feel like if you can master both,
good.
You may not be amazing at this one or amazing at that one, but you can, keep it consistent across all fronts. You're doing pretty damn good, and it's definitely difficult. But I think it's like anything else. People, people, they put it on a pedestal because they don't do it a lot. But once you, just like anything else, just like training or anything, once you get into it and start doing it, it's like, dude, it's not as glorified as it looks. It just takes time, effort, and patience.
There's lots of things I'm sure that go into it, but it's one of those things to where I love barbecue. So anyway, that's neither here nor there. Chasing rabbits again.
No, that's good, dude. I mean, that's what we're here for. We got plenty of time. But no, I think that's interesting to know that you brought up Cobb's, because a lot of people don't know about that place. Or like when I say like, especially the newfound influence here, don't know about that was a staple for the longest time in this area. It's pretty monumental for like everyone knew about it at one time, especially the generation prior to us.
You'd go in there and you'd see doctors, attorneys, judges.
It's just like going to
everywhere.
What's the shop out in Shreveport? Not Jacqueline's.
Jacqueline's is amazing though. Shout out to Jacqueline's.
Sandwich shop. Dude, been there forever.
Casino Deli.
Casino Deli. That's gone now though, isn't it?
No, it's not. It's there.
It's not.
It's still there. I think somebody bought it.
That's what it is. Not that place. The one that's close to downtown. Herbie Case.
Same thing with Herbie Case.
Same thing.
Same thing with Herbie Case. It was
been
a melting
there forever.
pot.
Staple.
Everywhere. Yeah, absolutely.
Nothing fancy about it. Nothing. They're not about to remodel it.
No, nothing. Look, I don't want to know what happens.
Exactly.
Just bring me my shrimp buster and let's go on. Like we're gonna when at Cobb's, I would sit there and I would talk to Sean. Like I'd been going there since I was, literally in a carrier. Yeah. And I would walk in there and they knew exactly what I wanted to eat. I wouldn't even go through the line. They'd just bring it to me. I'd pay them. So they didn't accept credit cards or anything. It was a cash business. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
As a small business owner myself, I'm like, really?
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's whew. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows? Elvis Presley practiced there. I mean, like Southern Made Donuts. There's a little bit of trivia. Yeah, there's a little trivia question for you. Elvis Presley only made one commercial in his entire career. Southern Made Donuts.
Dude, I feel like I saw that somewhere. I think someone used it as a post or something. One of these, but that's
probably
insane to think
me
about.
Because I posted that.
Maybe so. Maybe it was you.
Me because so my nickname comes from Elvis. Like Trouble comes from the song Trouble. Yeah, so that's Elvis was awesome. So
yeah, dude. I mean, and this was a huge place for him too.
It was.
I mean, it's coined did a commercial here now? Yeah. Coined a term here.
Yeah,
a term that will live forever.
Municipal Auditorium. Elvis has left the building.
Yeah, that's an amazing place too. I think that's another thing I've talked about with artists on here before, and comedians and stuff because you'll see artists and comedians come through here, and they don't even sell that place out. And it's like, dude. And a lot of times they're amazing. Like Gary Clark Jr. was here a couple years ago, and it wasn't full. I'm like, what the?
Seinfeld came 5 or 6 years ago, and he sold that sucker. Out.
Oh,
Kevin Hart sold it out.
Yeah.
Seinfeld. I'm a huge Seinfeld fan. I wanted to go. The cheapest tickets were like $180, and I was like, "No, I'm sorry. I'll watch you on TV."
It's got some rich history though. But I've seen quite a few artists perform there, a couple comedians. But just to know you're back there and like the dressing rooms are all still the same and stuff. Nothing's changed. Like there's got to be some kind of energy in there you harness. You know what I mean?
I fought there probably over 30 times. I won the state Golden Gloves there. I've defended my world titles there. I've fought there a ton.
Did you feel anything?
Oh yeah, that's place. So when I was the municipal auditorium was so dilapidated for so long and wasn't taken care of for forever. Now it seemed to have some funding and everything. But used to when I was a kid, we'd fight in the Golden Gloves. I would be one of the first fights, right? And then it was like a 3-day tournament. So I would fight the first thing. Then I'd be able to run around the municipal auditorium. My mom and dad would be helping Ray throw the Golden Gloves and be down there helping do whatever. And I was running around. I found the original Louisiana Hayride sign up on the 3rd floor, like it's dilapidated. I was like, Dad, that's up there. He's like, no, there's not. I'm like, come with me. We go, holy crap, why is this here?
Yeah.
I mean, it's the same sign they had for, KWKH's Louisiana Hayride with Elvis and everything. You'd have the safe that was in the locker room that I used when I turned pro and when I fought there and everything. It was in there. It's the same safe that Elvis was in. It was just cool history,
Yeah.
That building was also the morgue for the city of Shreveport during the, I believe, the Korean and Vietnam War and World War II. Maybe not World War II, but the other two. Nuts.
Yeah, that's what we have the fact checking for. It's like when you're storing more information than me because I'm like, I heard this, but was it about this place or was it this year, dude? But no, dude, that place. There's some kind of feeling in there. What do you feel when you walk out now? Because I felt like for me, which dude, I've only had 4 MMA fights, and then I had a couple boxing fights prior to that, and then I fought Golden Gloves. So I've not had near the tour you have, right? But like, I noticed as I got older and more mature, like I didn't get so in my head as much, and I didn't get so like anxious. Like, what does it feel like now for you, like taking a stint off and then coming back? And
it's a different feeling now.
Yeah.
So for me now, there's more pressure.
Is it pressure on yourself though?
A lot of it is pressure on myself.
Yeah.
So I love what I do for a living. I'm very blessed to do what I do for a living. I love it. One of the hardest things I can ever tell you to do is walk to a ring or walk to a cage with a fighter that you have trained and put something into and know that you have no control over what's about to happen.
Yeah.
That is one of the toughest, most difficult situations to ever be in. I wouldn't change it for the world, but it's very hard to know that. I imagine it's the same thing in any coaching aspect, right? But for that, it sucks. Now coming back and now having all these people that look up to you, you can't let them down. Now you got to perform in a certain way, in addition to business and everything else, you look at it in a different light. You can't let anybody disappoint or anything. You've got to show them that you are who you want them to be and who you're preaching to them, that these things that you teach and everything and that is real and everything. So the pressure is different now. When I was younger, and I like to say my prime, I would come out and scared isn't the right word. Excited would be the right word. But I found myself several times looking at being in the cage or the ring, whichever, and I'd be in there and be like, okay, this is what's about to happen. Why am I here?
Yeah.
There's so many other places I could be than right here, right now. Now, that's probably for about 30 to 45 seconds. Mm-hmm. Once that bell rings, ding, it's over. Like, that's gone. But for the moment that everybody else is out of the ring, it's just you, the referee, and your opponent. And you know that person's coming to get you.
Yeah.
That 30 to 45 seconds, you're like, the walk's fine, the song's fine, all of that's great. That time when they've announced you ready? You ready? Let's go. That moment.
Everything changes weird.
It does.
It's weird. So you can't put that into, like, I don't think anyone can relate to it until they do something.
Until they do it.
And I've never done anything that's anything close to it. Like, I can't compare a different sport to it. I can't, like, I've done some stuff, like CrossFit competition is close for me because we can train together as a team, but I'm still competing as me. Right. I'm not, unless we're doing a partner competition, I'm competing against one more opponent and they're trying to beat me and we have the same set of rules, so it's very similar, but it's still not the same thing. It's something that's so weird, man. I would get so anxious. I would be beat before I even went out there because I would just be so worried, and I don't know why. But then towards the last couple, like, I would just walk out there and I was just like, dude, the hardest part already over with.
It's over. This is fun.
This is fun now at this point. Like, when you step in that cage or the ring or whatever, you step in there, like, whew, the pressure, like, at that point, it's like, okay, well, I have 15 minutes, or 25 minutes, whatever the fight is, or whatever it is. Like, I have 15 minutes. I've got to see what I can do,
So for me, my big thing is nervous energy. If I sit in the back and you let me sit there and everybody's serious and da-da-da like this, and I'm screwed.
Yeah.
I have to have people around me that I enjoy being around, that I laugh. The last thing I care about talking about is the fights. I'm going to laugh. Now, about 30, 45 minutes before, we're going to wrap hands, and now it starts to get serious. But those, as a
2-3 hours.
Yeah, most people don't realize that fighters have to be there. Like, if the fights start at 7, I don't care if you're the first or the last. You're there at like 4:30.
And I have to look at this dude probably across the gym or the dressing room, whatever.
That you're about to go to war with.
Yeah, it's very weird. Yeah, that's another thing. And people tell you, like, there are ways to do things. I'm like, sitting there with the headphones in my own head is not where I needed to be. That wasn't my thing. I was like, I need to distract myself.
I need to talk.
Yeah.
So amateur boxing was even weirder. So one of the tournaments I came to in amateur boxing, like it was a 3-ring tournament. You can ask my dad about this. He may not remember it because it was important to me at the time. You had 2 rows of chairs, and you had fighters in it.
Yeah.
Here was me, here's my opponent. When this fight ended, we moved up a row. Now the next fight comes and take that, we move it up. And then you get to the front of the line, there's probably 10 rows of chairs. You get to go get gloved up, you warm up, and then in 2 or 3 fights you fight. But so for an hour and 10 minutes, 20 minutes, you're just boom, 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 keep moving up and finding, you're just across the way from the guy you're about to fight. So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's psychologically especially for when you're young, and that's all you're worried. You're like, I can't let someone down. I can't let I got to perform. I got to win. That's all that's all I ever was thinking about. I was like, I really need to win. I've been putting this time in.
Put all that time and effort, and if you lose, you've wasted your parents' time who took you there every day and everything of that nature. Yeah. Yeah,
and then I think when I become, I guess, really grown, I was just like, I don't care. I've done the work. If I don't, it's either they caught me in something, I screwed up, I can identify. Like, I can watch tape now and be like, oh, well, I messed up right there. Yeah. And I can live with that. But before, it would literally destroy me, man.
It's what the world is, your world revolves around for so long. Yeah. You know what I mean? It's crazy because my world still revolves around it. Yeah. And when I go back and watch my fighters' fights and realize where they made a mistake, like, I'll sit back there and watch it on my phone on the pay-per-view broadcast for like Amber and John Bishop. Shout out to the Bishops and AKA Promotions.
Shout out, yeah.
Yeah, they've got side note, no young guys, no young fighters, they take it for granted fighting at their home. Okay. I didn't have that ability when I was younger. Like, if you got to fight at home, you showed out. Now these people are like, no, I'm going to wait till it comes back.
Dude, home. I fought at a mud ride. It was 90 degrees outside, like in a mud ride in Colfax, Louisiana.
I fought. I fought when I was a kid. The first, no lie, New Iberia, Louisiana. I fought in a strip club.
Nice.
The stripper poles were on the side and everything. New Iberia, Louisiana. I'll never forget that. Ray Paxton and my dad and our whole team walked in, and it's just poles over in the side. Like, what is that for? My dad's like, shut up. You don't need to know. Probably like 9, 10 years old. But
no, dude, there's some crazy. Yeah, they do take that for granted. There's they've done a lot for the sport. Shout out to them. They've got these great equipment. Great relationships, great venues.
I think they're getting ready to go to a new venue here. Don't know if I can say that or not, but
probably not.
Oops, probably not.
I don't know.
My bad.
I do know there's a bare knuckle fight coming up. I'm excited for them for that. Yeah, I saw that. That's cool.
Marshall. So yeah, we've got. So I'm doing some stuff with them. We're doing. They call it rally boxing now. It's almost tough, man. I'm doing it with them with Tim Huck at Phoenix.
I saw that,
which is going to be awesome.
That's going to be hilarious and great.
So
can anyone enter?
So yeah, as long as you've never had, just like Tough Man.
As long as you've never had a fight.
As long as you've never been a pro.
Okay.
And I mean, you could have had amateur fights, but they've got to be like a long time ago.
Yeah.
You can enter. There's like 5 different weight divisions. There's cash prizes. Shout out to anybody. I don't know where this goes, but y'all can
everywhere.
Y'all come on. There's. If you think you're that dude,
that's gonna be hilarious. It's just like Battle of the Badges.
It is. I
had the best time there.
The craziest thing about the Battle of the Badges, right, is we're Shreveport, right, and I promoted, and I've had my own promotion company and promoted fights and things like that, and been in this business for literally 30-something years. Have you ever been in the Monroe Battle of the Badges?
No, but I've heard.
Bro, let me explain something to you. Those dudes over there, Dennis and all them, and Sparky and all of them. They put on a phenomenal show. They will sell that sucker out. Yeah. Like, I'm talking not 1,000 people. I'm talking like 5,000, 6,000 people. And those guys that do Battle of the Badges that are from Monroe are heroes there.
Yeah.
They are looked at like they are gods.
Yeah.
So we had a pro boxing show in West Monroe back when I lived there. We had like 900 people there. Battle of the Badges, 5,000. I'm like,
yeah.
I'm like, you realize? I was like,
no,
y'all realize?
I've seen it. It always falls. Yeah, but I've seen it, and I know they do big things over there, and that's like a huge thing for that area.
Monroe supports. Monroe comes out for Sparky McDuffie in the West Monroe Boxing Club and the Battle of the Badges. I will tell you, there was not a guy in the Battle of the Badges that could hang with any boxer in the gym. You couldn't convince anybody of that.
Yeah, that's the cool.
You couldn't convince. It was fantastic. You're like,
that's the cool kind of.
They can beat your rear.
Dude, they'll be hanging out and. Dude, I met my wife. She was fighting Battle of the Badges, and I didn't meet her. I saw her, and I was working corner for Jake. I was helping one of his fighters or something. I can't remember. And no, it was the girl was going to fight her. And dude, she was out there in her hand wrap smoking a cigarette, and I was like, "What the hell is going on? Who the hell is this?" And then she goes in there and knocks the opponent out I'm in the corner for, and I was like, "Okay, she's badass." But it's just funny because you see all walks of life because she'd never fought before. You know what I mean? She just. Yeah. But it's a tough man thing. It's because I remember people talking about that, but it was a little bit before my.
It was well before our time. They outlawed it well in the early mid '80s.
Yeah,
it used to happen in like Cowboys, which is now then became Rock and Rodeo, I believe, and now it's Big Country. Yeah, so they had it there for. We would hear people talk about it. Oh yeah, I've heard about it a lot.
Our dads or whatever, so tough man or whatever. But
so the fact that it's coming back is absolutely great.
Yeah, I really like bare knuckle too, man. I've gotten into it. How do you feel about it? So not from a traditional boxing versus bare knuckle, just from a sport.
Okay, so it's hard for me to separate. Right? Okay, because of doing what I've done my whole life.
Yeah,
I look at it as in. These guys that do it don't realize what they're getting into. Now, some of them are. It's fantastic for. Like I've got a friend, Blake Lacaze from West Monroe.
Dude, he's done great.
Yeah, he's done great.
I've seen him.
I love Blake. Blake and I talk all the time.
Yeah.
Like we talked yesterday.
He was on that card with Quentin.
Yeah,
Quentin. Yeah.
I love that. Love all that. My issue is you're paying these guys a couple of grand, or $3 or $4 grand to fight. And they have nothing protecting them. They're either getting their face broken and cut or hands busted up or something of that nature. Now some of the other guys, I'm sure they're making really good money, but, that's just a lot. Now I can't go work at my job if my hand's broken.
Right.
I can't,
Well, they'll go to a town and they'll recruit a bunch of fighters that fought MMA or whatever, and those guys don't know what they're getting into.
Yeah.
And you see that, especially if you go. You won't see that on a pay-per-view, but if you go like show up and watch the fight in person, you see that undercard.
Oh yeah.
You're like, oh shit, they just got some local people, and you're like, yo, that's pretty bad.
I think it's the evolution of where things are going.
Well, I mean, it's new, right? So there's not enough fighters to pick from.
Right. I think it's the evolution of where things are going. It's very entertaining. I think there's enough for. If you follow the politics of boxing and MMA, that the Turkish whatever his name is, okay, so he is putting a lot of money in boxing.
Yeah,
just throw me some anyway. And he is bringing in there. And one of the things he said the other day was, what killed boxing is everybody wanted to be Floyd Mayweather. Everybody wanted to be undefeated. The reason boxing had a heyday. And the reason Dana White, besides Dana White being a genius and grew the UFC, is because the best fought the best. It was a league.
Yeah.
The UFC is a league. It's like the NFL.
Yeah.
Okay, so he's like, hey, fight this person. No? Okay, well, bye-bye now.
Yeah.
I think he's got a rule that, like, you can say no twice. And then after that, adios. Boxing, we're all private contractors, so everything is ours. One thing I love about the UFC is if you sign a contract and get hurt, they take care of you. They still pay you, and they take care of everything.
That's a very good point. And honestly, I've never had this conversation with anyone, and I'm super excited right now because you're right. Especially when it comes to negotiations and all that. Like you're dealing with one private party versus another private party versus working for a pool of fighters working as a company man.
You're a company man.
Yeah.
You're under contract. So, one thing that people sit there all the time and they go, I have mixed feelings about Logan Paul. I would fight him in an instant, and I'm probably 8 inches shorter than him and 100 pounds lighter, but he sucks. But, he says he's bringing eyes to the sport they're needed, right?
You can't argue it.
No, that are needed, and I'm appreciative for it. But at the same point, the amount of money he's getting paid, and other people for, like, towards me, it's disrespectful. Like, I understand value and butts and seats and things of that nature. I understand, but to sit there and act like you're Like, he was supposed to fight Canelo. Really? Canelo I would have taken everything.
Yeah,
I would have taken every penny that I could find.
What do you think about the Tyson throwing the fight thing?
I don't think he threw it.
You don't think he did?
No.
You've seen all that speculation stuff.
So I think Jake Paul showed him mercy.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's a 60-year-old man. I mean, what did we expect a 60? Like, he could barely move in the ring.
Of course, yeah.
Now, I don't think he had knowledgeable people in his corner, because if I would have been training Mike Tyson and I knew he was having trouble moving, I would have told him to go stand in a corner and let Jake Paul come to him. And when he came to him, I'd launch and then grab and then go right back to the corner and launch and grab.
Yeah. Instead of trying to walk all, and he's got such a like, his reach is a lot further, and trying to get inside of him, chase him around, yeah.
But the UFC, they provide so well for their people. Like, if you've ever been privileged enough to have a fighter that's in the UFC or work or be in their corner or something, you don't take for anything. Like, I was blessed enough to go to Fight Island during COVID. Let me explain to you what that was. That was amazing. Like, I didn't pay for food, didn't pay for travel, didn't pay for COVID tests, didn't pay for, if I wanted anything, they provided it.
Shoes,
jumpsuit, training gear, Cokes delivered to my room, pizzas, I had this idea that while I was there, we were there for like 3.5 weeks. I was going to get in shape and lose weight. Not at all what happened. I ate my body weight in good food, but no. But if you get hurt, they take care of you. If you call them and say, hey, I need help with the diet plan, they're sending you food to your house. As a boxer, I don't have that. I don't have this. So sure, I may make money, right? I may make more money on a contract or whatever the case may be, but that's not the way it truly is. I have far greater risk.
Yeah.
I have all these people that I've got to pay and everything else. I have to pay for my medicals and everything else that has to happen. You don't do that with the UFC. So I see pluses and minuses, but the reason boxing declined so much and the UFC grew is because Dana was smart enough to realize the best need to fight the best. And we had, after the era of Hearns and Hagler and Leonard and all of them and Duran, you had De La Hoya, who fought everybody, and then after that, they don't want to fight anybody.
Yeah.
So
they don't have to.
They don't have to. They can still make money.
Yeah, they can make money. That's a very good point. And so what they're doing now is shifting.
They're making the best fight the best. Like, you don't have to, just because you lost a fight doesn't mean you're not a badass. Okay, like, you can still be one of the baddest men walking around in a everybody has a bad day.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean.
Or you just had a bad camp.
You had a bad camp.
Or you might be injured.
There's lots of different factors, right? But we have it in our minds as boxers and boxing fans that if you lost, you're not worth a dang. No, that's not it.
Yeah,
and I hate that.
I think
mentality.
People are getting and it's worse now because there's such a shorter attention span. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? Like, you're good and you're awesome, but as soon as you lose, it's like, we'll focus on the next person. You know what I mean?
That mentality, I think, is starting to change because you've seen so many people like you daring to be great. Like Canelo Alvarez was undefeated at 21 years old, and he dared to go fight Floyd. Now Terrence Crawford, who's the undisputed welterweight champion of the world. Thank God he's getting out of my weight division, and he's going up, and he's getting ready to fight Canelo.
Yeah.
And so, daring to be great. People talk trash about Canelo. Canelo fought everybody. He literally has fought everybody in the world in like 6 weight divisions.
Yeah.
And you can't fault him at it. If he doesn't want to fight this guy and he wants to fight this guy because, he's earned that right at this point. But.
Yeah, not taking the Jake Paul fight is probably a better move. He's still trying to fight champions.
Well, true, but if you offer me $50 million, if you offer me $50 million to fight Terrence Crawford and then offer me $100 million to go knock out Jake Paul, I might go.
Yeah.
I might go. Jake's nothing to me. I'll fight Jake in May, and then in June I'll fight Terrence Crawford because there is no way.
But they didn't make that fight, right?
No, he decided to go and fight real fighters.
Yeah.
Which is probably better for the sport, honestly, but secretly part of me was going, it would have been so nice to see him just because I don't care.
I wanted that for Mike too, dude. I really did. I just for him. I wanted it for him. I didn't really.
No, Mike just needed the money, you know, and he's a legend. I take everybody knows who Mike Tyson is, and he's a legend, but there's a reason 6-year-olds don't fight. If 6-year-olds do fight, they should be fighting 60-year-olds.
Agreed.
And I don't look. I'm not one to sit there. I'm as conservative as you can be. If you want to do something, you should be able to do it.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah,
but I understand there should be tests.
If you want to have controversy and discussions and say this person's better than that person, level them up.
Put it in a level playing field.
Yeah, right? Level them up.
Like compare apples to apples and oranges to oranges.
Exactly.
Don't sit there and go, I beat Mike Tyson. You didn't beat Mike Tyson. It's just like
the Jordan and LeBron conversation. They're not in the same room playing the same time. You can't have the conversation.
No, you can't.
You can't, because if someone was that good against him, his performance might have went even more.
We have no idea.
No.
Though, but it's amazing what LeBron can do at 40 years old. Good grief!
I know. Evolution, man. Evolution and good genes, good diet plan, good whatever it is, that everybody gets that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, I'm sure there's something.
Some crazy ass peptides.
Yeah, no, Barry Bonds was never on steroids. He showed up the next year and was like, "Who are you? I'm Barry Bonds." No, you're not. Barry was like this big.
That's like when they outlawed it from the. Did you used to watch wrestling growing up?
Yeah.
When they outlawed like that after that whole lawsuit with Hogan and Vince and all that stuff happened, and then they took them all. They got them off roids, and dude, they all shrunk up. You're like, who the hell's that dude?
I don't look. If you're an adult and you know what the risks are, and you want to do it, go for it.
Oh, dude, I completely agree. I think it was always a restricting money, or someone couldn't make money on something.
I don't think that there's certain drugs should not be legal, okay? But if you want to go to like steroids that have positive, if you want to do it and you're an adult, and it doesn't harm this person, go do it. I'm not saying that something that's made in somebody's bathtub needs to be
right. I mean, there should be some type of regulatory issues to where you're going to put it in your body. At least it's not going to kill you or whatever.
Right. Exactly.
But also, I'm in agreement to where like you don't want someone taking something where it impairs their. Just like getting too drunk and driving.
Right, we shouldn't have that. The exact same thing. But if you want to, like wrestlers, I thoroughly enjoy watching the WWE now. It's on Netflix. I watch it all the time.
I saw it. Like my son, but it was like the first one, and it was a little too theatrical to where there wasn't a lot of action going on. He didn't get too interested. I was like, dude, this is what I watched. So I turned it on, and I realized. What's his name's on there? Mahaffey's on there, like doing announcing and shit, and like they're bringing back all these old school people. And I was like, dude, look at this, and he's like, he don't understand, but
it's just a soap opera, man. It's for me, that's all it is.
That's all it ever was, though.
No, that's all it ever was. But those guys are athletes. If you want to talk about athletes, I couldn't.
Men and the women, dude.
Yeah, all of them.
It's insane what Logan Paul.
Yeah. Oh. Yeah, Logan Paul's a freaking stud athlete.
Dude, the shit he does, in that sport.
Oh my God. Like, to be able to sit there and flip, off the top turnbuckle 4 or 5 different ways and land
throw a 350-pound man in the air.
Oh, absolutely. Like,
I can't do that right now. And I do crazy CrossFit shit all the time.
I don't think I could do it ever. I think you could train me for 2 or 3 years. But look.
That goes unnoticed. They don't. I guess it's so used. I guess the audience is so used to seeing all that going on all the time that they just assume they all can do it. But like a regular person can't get in there.
No. If you think you can do it, go pick up your friend that you go have a beer with every day. See if you can just pick him up. But boom.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that was horrible. Now pick him up over your head and throw him over the rope.
Exactly.
See how that works out.
Yeah, for you. and then do it again 20 more times.
Yeah.
Within 5 minutes.
Yeah, 300 days out of the year.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's no wonder that. Like Hogan's had literally 5 inches shorter than he used to be. Like, it is crazy the shit they do.
George Foreman used to be my promoter, like Big George. And the first time I ever met him, he walked by and he said something smart to me. I talked to him on the phone a bunch, but the first time I met him in person, I was about 1/4 of a pound off weight, and so I'm jumping rope. Like, he's coming to the fights. He walks up to me and says, you better stop jumping rope out here. I'm like, why? He's like, because people think boxers are rich. And they're going to sue you if you hit them with that rope. And I was like, what? Like, what are you talking about? And I went in there, and I've got anybody who's ever cut weight knows weight cut brain is not the same. No, you're not thinking the same. Yeah. You're not doing anything. And so I was sitting there like, did he say that? My dad's like, yeah, he said that. So I went and talked to him. And he was messing with me. He said he was hitting a bag one time, and somebody asked to hold the bag, and he hit them, and they fell, and they tried to sue him because they fell when he hit the bag. Yeah. And he says stuff like that. But that man shrunk. Like, I've got pictures. I'm 5'8". I'm not a big guy. I'm not short as other people, but I'm not 6 foot. He was extraordinarily small compared to what I grew up thinking he was. But then he shook my hand, and he shook my elbow.
Yeah.
Like his arm, his hand was that big. Yeah. And I was like, it's ridiculous. But I think he had just gone through so many battles and everything, and trained so hard, and age and time and everything, and his muscles had just atrophied. Might be the wrong word, but something similar to that. And he just kind of shrunk.
I mean, just deteriorate. I guess if you're not. I don't know. I don't know what the science is behind that, but you see a lot of that as they get older. I don't know, but your training regimens change. I mean, you're older. You're not getting you're not on there's not all these developments in TRT and shit now like there is now, where you can look like RFK. You know what I mean?
Dude, that dude is a bad.
Fucking jack, dude.
He is awesome.
I love that dude.
I love a lot of what's going on in this country right now.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I'm just excited. I mean, I don't get too political on here, but I don't care at the same time. I'm excited that when someone says some shit, it's getting done.
Yes.
I don't care what it is, but if you say you're going to do something and you do it, then that's new. Whoa, that shit, people actually do things?
My thing is like Musk is out there like running Doge like it's like that's what's cool is like, and I don't care what side of the spectrum you're on. If you find out that we spent $20 million making a Sesame Street for Afghanistan,
right? But knowing that that's covering up for something else, the money, and it's like, oh, you got this entire agenda tied to this one movement just to raise the money to get it approved to actually then pocket it or use it on your fucking estate or whatever thing you bought, or your
it's a weirdest thing is I can't understand how anybody should be against finding out where the waste is. If I've got $20 and I end up only getting the benefit of 10 of it, where did my other $10 go? Well, let's figure it out. Why would anybody want to be against that? Like, there should be nobody that's against it. Why would
anyone want to be against actually helping the American people first?
Right. Exactly.
I'm not saying there's not enough to go around, but put it here first. Like, hurricane relief, fire relief. Like,
take care of ours first.
You paid nothing for, you gave all those people in Hawaii that lost so much shit. Like the Carolina, all that
$300. Yeah,
I think it was like $700. I don't know. It wasn't
whatever
a lot.
It was.
It wasn't a lot.
No, you lost your house. Here you go. Here's $300 or $700. Like, who cares?
Or they sent all that money to Ukraine, and then Ukraine's like, well, we didn't really even get all that they said.
No, that's another thing. Is like we approved $170 billion or something for them.
It's like, dude, I only got 70 of it.
I only got 70 of it. I don't know where the other 100 went.
Yeah, it's. I'm not surprised.
I'm not either.
Are you surprised?
No, I'm not.
Here's what's scary. It's scary that we're not surprised.
It's scary that we're not surprised. It's also scary that some people are against us finding out what's going on. That I find to be more scary. The scary part about it is some people are like, well, no, he can't do that. He can't look at it. Why? Why are you so scared to find out where you spent that $100?
People don't want it to be true. I think
that's true.
I get it. No one wants it to be true.
No one wants bad things to be true.
Yeah, I mean, dude, look, there's always been corruption.
Yeah,
you see it at small. If you can see it in your local government, then you're going to see it at the high. Yeah. It's just suited up different. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And that's one of those things where, we're in a very weird. We're in a weird time, but we're in an extremely unique time.
It is.
It's exciting to be here, and it's exciting to see what's going to happen with as these things change. I just I think it's going to be a lot of bickering before there's any unity.
There will be, but hopefully at the end of the day, when it starts getting better for everyone, we can all realize that we're Americans and we should be taking care of each other before we take care of somebody else.
I completely agree. I don't
have a problem with it, but with the amount of money that we've sent other places for, whether it be condoms, a Sesame Street, somebody else's houses, reassignment surgeries, I don't care what it is. We have vets that have no homes. We have people that need mental health care. I would prefer us take care of that than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, the hundreds of thousands of homeless people in this country is insane. You know what I mean?
It is. It's absolutely insane. But we're chasing rabbits again.
Hey, that's what conversation is, man.
It is. It's true. But
it's one of those things. Well, I mean, back to boxing, man. So, how many fights this year? Can you say that?
So
at least?
we are in. Let's see. It's February. I've had one this year so far. In the last 4 months, I've had 4. Let's see. This year, I plan to have about 8.
And you're gonna? Is this all for under this title, or are you fighting some other divisions too?
There'll be some other things coming up.
Gotcha.
There'll be some other things coming up. October will be a very big month for me. October will be probably the biggest month of my career.
Okay. And so this fight coming up March 8th?
March 15th.
March 15th. Okay, March 15th. Is it in defense of this title?
It is actually for another one.
Okay, got you.
It will be for the UBO International title. So,
got you.
Or Intercontinental title, whatever it is. I know, I can look it up, but it's for one of them. It'll be a good fight. I'm just looking to cement my legacy. I have it in my head that I need to do certain things that nobody else from this area has ever done. Whether we've had a lot of great fighters that come out of here, but there's some things that I'm in a unique position to do before I retire to be at the top of a couple of them.
Yeah.
And so then I can train somebody to be what I did, and that's kind of ultimately the goal.
That's a good strategy. I like that.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of the end of the goal. Is like a certain number of wins, a certain championship that to retire ranked in the top 10 in the world. Things of this nature is something that I want to do, and they're not unachievable at all. They just take the right strategy, the right preparation. This year's going to suck. Like I said,
that's a lot of fight. I mean, you're 4 fights in 4 months. Anyone who's fought knows that's a lot.
Oh, that's a lot.
I mean, especially it's your level too, at a professional level, and fighting people who are, elite boxers.
No, the last guy I fought, he hit me once, and I went, "Holy crap! I don't want that to happen again."
Yeah.
And I went, "Nope, not going to." And,
yeah.
Thank God he didn't come out of the corner for the next round, because I was sitting here really not stressed about it, but I was now on my game. I was like, okay, we're in a different country. We're in his country. Elevation's a lot different. So the longer this fight goes, the better his cardio should be than mine.
Mm-hmm.
But
there's another thing that people don't understand. You're thinking about all that too, all while trying to read and counter, mm-hmm. and then listen to your corner for things they saw that you didn't.
Correct.
There's a lot going on.
Lot of
it's a
factors.
huge mental chess game, man.
It's really big. There's a lot of things that happen, and when I was in there, he was very, very tough. The last guy, the 2 fights ago, I literally hit him twice, and I got him. I caught him. It was the first time back at 147 pounds in probably 10 years. And so my power it felt good to be fighting in a smaller glove and to be strong again. I hit him twice and I put him to sleep. And I was like, oh, that's what that's like again. Yeah. The next fight was tougher. This fight was a lot tougher. It's just every fight that I'm back, the biggest thing that I can tell you, the biggest harmful thing for fighters, if anybody watches this and wants to hear one bit of advice, ring rust is real. You need activity. If you can't fight once every 15 months.
Yeah.
So one thing that was said when I fought in September here in town, Tyler Moody said something on the broadcast. I was like, let's see if if Blake Franklin could get his first win in this decade. And I'm like, I looked back and I was like, what an asshole thing to say. I was like, that's from a guy who commentates on basketball and baseball, and you want to talk trash about me? Then I started thinking about it. I was like, well, that's true. I've only fought like 3 times in the past 10 years. So, I didn't win any of them because I fought a champion. I fought somebody else. Then I fought, I fought for a championship and lost. And then COVID happened, and then I didn't fight. So I was like, well, it's technically correct. I mean, it lacks some depth there, but I can't really be mad at it. But
that's sports commentary, man. Yeah. That's the articles they write.
It is
one of those things, dude.
I was like, but I listened back to it. It was like the first win in a decade. You punk! I'm gonna come get you.
I love Tyler, bro.
He's a good dude. He's very nice.
I've commentated by him a couple times, and he is. I don't know. I don't even explain how they do that. I can't. Me and Danger will be sitting there talking, and he's just like,
he's very good.
He's like the John Anik of local women. I don't even know how to explain it. Just
very, very good at what he does.
Being able to think that quick is just crazy to me.
It's very good. He's very, very good at it. But when he said that, I was like,
I get it. I've been pissed too.
I was like, I had people texting me after I got fighting. I had like 80 texts. And 12 of them were about that son of a gun. Yeah. He said something like, I had to go buy the pay-per-view and watch it and listen to it. I'm like, oh man, but no, that's it. It's going to be an interesting year. I've got quite a bit on my plate. When I sat down, one of the big people that did at Effects, is who you're in a relationship with.
Yeah.
And I sat down and was like, look, if you say no, it's a no, because at the end of the day, I come home to you, I come home and, I'm eating differently than everybody else is. I'm moody. I'm hurt. I'm going through clothes like you wouldn't believe. I'm sweating through clothes all the time. I'm all these things. We got jugs of water around the house. Lots of these little things. So if you don't want to do it, do it. She goes, no, accomplish your goals.
Yeah.
We've got the rest of everything to do. And I was like, Nico, that's awesome. I appreciate that, because I'll go accomplish these goals. Then we've got the next 40 years
to hang out and do whatever.
Do whatever, And so it's a very good support system. And I can't stress that enough. When I was a kid, I had that, and I did not realize how big a deal that was, that it helped me accomplish everything. I mean, you were talking about the municipal auditorium, or we were. And I fought. My last amateur fight was to the Shreveport Municipal Auditorium, and we put 3,500 people in there.
Yeah.
That's a lot of people in the municipal auditorium.
Yeah.
Like with table seats, they've rearranged it a little bit. They added they took away a lot of the floor because they added wheelchair ramps.
Yeah, on the sides there, come down. Yeah,
and I wish they would never have done that. Like I thought it was a historic building.
That's ADA stuff, man.
I know.
They should have found a loophole to get past that. But yeah,
they should. I'm not saying that people but they also had wheelchair seating on
the riser there. Yeah,
so I don't understand it, but it is what it is. But we almost sold that building out. Like, we had a lot. That comes with a good support system, and I couldn't do anything that I'm doing now or will do. And there will be a time when, oh crap, that's what happened. I've been trying to work in silence instead of promoting everything and trying to accomplish goals and work on it, rather than go, this is what I'm going to do, and then fail. I'm like, oh crap, Blake did this, or Blake did that. And then at the end in October, everybody will know what I'm going for.
That's what's up, dude. That's awesome. That's another thing you touched on a second ago before I forget, like the weight cutting thing and the change of weight and the change of performance in weight classes.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I noticed that very last fight I had, because I was like, I'm going to have one right before I turn 30 and I'm going to hang it up. Mm-hmm. And that was in 18. I haven't had anything since then, and I don't plan on it. But so I thought in my brain that I needed to fight at 185 because that's what I used to fight at. Mm-hmm. Dude, I almost killed myself getting to 185. Oh, yeah. I was not the same. It's not an excuse. I got caught in fucking in a I don't remember what I got caught in. A triangle. Mm-hmm. It happens. I mean, dude, I suck at jiu-jitsu. Like, I was a stand-up fighter. Wasn't I? Right. If I was grappling, it's to get back up to fight you. I don't really want to grapple. Like, if I have to, cool. But it's going to be wrestling. It's not going to be submitting.
No, we're going to get up and
get back to getting up. Yeah, get back to banging. But like so. But I noticed that. I noticed my win was gone. It wasn't there like I used to have it. Mm-hmm. Like when I was, but also like, I'd spent 3 months cutting weight. Oh yeah. Like cutting 50 pounds. I should have fought at 205. I would have felt better. But like same thing, like it's just different. Like for me, I'd had 5 years off. So 5 years I'd just been lifting weights. Mm-hmm. Imagine the amount of muscle I put on, before prior I'd fought, I didn't have all that muscle. Now I have 5 years of muscle growth, and I'm depleting muscle to cut weight because I think I need to fight at 185 because I'm going to be better at 185 because that's what you to fight at. But for me, it's a little different than what you're talking about. But it's very important that people understand that, like, there's weight classes for a reason. And you walk around 20 or 30 pounds heavier than what you fight at, and that's just how it works.
It is. So for my first fight back in September, I fought at 160, and that is something that I will never do again.
But how much did you have to cut to get there?
5.5 years of eating whatever I wanted to. So, like, in whatever.
So you were over 200 probably?
Oh no, I've never been over 200.
Okay, so
I was like 185, 186.
Yeah.
But when you sit there and start training again, and there's a funny thing about it, and you know this, when you've got a bunch of fat, right, and you start working out, some of that fat starts turning to muscle, right? And so you'll start losing weight, but then you'll start maintaining and gaining a little bit. Then there's this little
seesaw.
It is. It's very, very good analogy. And so I didn't really have to cut to get to 160. Like, it just happened.
Got you.
It just happened. I didn't have to cut. I ended up cutting like 2 pounds, right? But it was a frame that my body doesn't need to. Like, my cardio was nowhere near what it should be. So everybody talks about Conor McGregor when he fought Nate Diaz the first time, right? Mm-hmm. Conor was supposed to be fighting at 145, and he ended up fighting at 170. His body at the time, wasn't prepared to be carrying around 170 pounds. Yeah. So he ran out of gas. That's exactly what I was doing in that fight. My body frame is not, I'm sure I could get it there with time and effort and everything, but that's not what I was doing. And so when I came back, my body didn't balloon back up to 185. It's got to like 170, and then I started losing again.
Gradual, yeah.
Yeah, and so right now I'm like 165, 166, and I'm going to go down to 147. Yeah. After this next fight, it probably won't get, it'll fluctuate. A 15 to 16 pound weight cut sounds like a lot, but it's not that much.
It's not that much.
But when you start going to 20 and 25,
well, I did 50, so I did absurd. Yeah, it was stupid. I was 230, and I cut to I was 237, I think, and I cut to 185, and I did it in 3 months. It was stupid. No. So I was drained, but I should have just took a 205. Was what I'm getting at. If I was going to take it on a 3 months notice, the only reason I really took it though was like, oh, this will be my last one. But Jeremy Moore passed away, Jeremy, yeah. And I was like, he was supposed to fight on that card. He's a really good friend of mine. I just want to do like this will be something to do, and so I just pushed myself. But I just kept telling myself I need to get to that weight, and I just fucked myself. Like, not talking about my performance in the ring. I'm just talking about what I did to my body.
No, you So there's a difference between training and losing weight to fight. And so what I did for that the 160-pound fight is I just trained to lose weight. Now I'm training to fight.
Exactly. Yeah, because the weight, you can get that weight off easy.
Yeah,
now.
Absolutely. So one thing that I will tell you right now is that I cannot stress enough proper diet for people that are trying to do things the right way. I after this last fight, I ate whatever I wanted to, and then I had oral surgery, and my weight's not where I wanted to because I'm on so much antibiotics right now. But thank God I'm about to be off. But food is just so good, and the what you put in your body to perform, you feel so good though. That's the crazy thing for me is that when I'm eating healthy, I perform and I feel so good at such a level. When I'm eating clean, when I'm eating my chicken, when I'm eating my steak with my little bit of rice or my eggs and things, and I'm not putting all the crap in. We were talking about RFK earlier. I truly, truly hope.
I hope too, dude.
That he starts doing what they want him to do.
I know.
And there's not too much money fighting against him. I know there will be. But
I know.
One thing I'll tell you right now, and you can ask Nico and James and everybody who's ever been to I know it's other countries, but everybody talks about Colombia. You think about Colombia, you think about cocaine, right? Yeah. I mean, that's just what we're programmed to.
Of course.
Right. The food is amazing. Not because it's got sauces or it's 3-level or it's 5-star quality or anything. It's clean. Yeah. They don't allow steroids in their food. They don't allow anything. So the meat tastes amazing. The eggs are almost a different color. They sweeten everything with real sugar. I mean, like after this fight, I hadn't had candy in 5 months, and so I went to the pharmacy and I bought like every candy that they had, and it tasted amazing because it was real sugar. It wasn't. There's no dyes in anything.
Red 40 and whatever,
and all
yellow
this stuff that
yeah.
starts all this stuff. But if they can get back to that, like what I start back with on Monday or Sunday. I'm gonna eat birthday cake with Emma, but you just feel better if people would just sit there and realize that their lives would change so much if they didn't necessarily do a fight or diet, but if they just ate clean, had a couple of cheat days, ate clean, have a couple of cheat days.
Yeah.
Go on vacation, enjoy yourself. That's another thing that happened before my 160 fight is I went on vacation I had it scheduled for months before I took that fight. And it was 3.5 weeks before my fight. I went and I was like, I'm not going to diet at all.
Yeah.
If I want this, I'm going to eat this.
Yeah, that you got to on vacation. That's what, dude, I'm a glutton. My wife's like, what the hell is wrong with you? You never, like, I will eat and drink the entire time. Because it's like, I'm not home. I'm not in a regimen. But typically, I'm pretty clean, man. I'll drink more than I should probably, but a lot less than I used to.
I don't care about alcohol.
I'm getting that way. As the older I get, I'm getting that way. I used to love it.
I truly do not care about alcohol at all.
Yeah.
Like if you were like Blake, you're allergic to alcohol. If you ever have any more, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Cool. That's fine for me. I mean, I'll have a drink socially occasionally. when we went on vacation, they had these things that were like peanut butter and jelly croissants. Imagine like a big old croissant like this big, and it had on the inside was peanut butter and jelly already mixed up, and they injected in there. I had like 5 of those. they were amazing. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah,
I'll do another 100 sit-ups for this.
Yeah.
I don't care. It's.
Well, that's another thing too. It's a lot easier to get it off if your body's built. Like if you put some bad stuff in like that, and it's on occasion, you can get it right off.
Oh, off.
But if you're someone who has this bad habits habitually all the time, like, dude, it's a lot harder to get off.
It will not come off. And I mean, not to say it won't, but
it just takes a little more effort.
It takes a lot more effort.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think I'm pretty much carnivore now. I love it, dude. So people talk shit about it, but it works for me.
I truly believe that it would be healthy. Like I have to have more carbs in my diet for what I'm doing.
Yeah.
But there was a time period before I decided I was going to fight again where for like 3 weeks, 4 weeks, I did carnivore. I didn't do strict like some people did, but I mean, I did like I had Worcestershire and Tabasco.
Oh, dude, yeah, I do that too. I still have condiments. Like I can't just eat meat all the time. Like,
no.
But
so I had Worcestershire and that, and I would have tea.
Yeah.
Right. But other than that, I ate eggs, butter, no carbs, nothing like that. I loved it. I was like, this is a diet? This is amazing.
It's easy.
It's amazing.
You can't fuck it up.
No, you can't. Like the thing is it was amazing. Like, what, you're going to tell me I can have steak and eggs for dinner every day?
Every day.
Every day? I can have steak. Wait, I can't, I truly didn't really miss anything. At first, I thought I'd miss potatoes or something like that, and it wasn't that bad.
You get so full so quick, too. It's weird.
You do.
Like, you're not... I don't know how to explain it, but that protein pool is just something that it sticks for a while.
It does, and then you have energy too. Like you may
off the fat. It's weird.
Right now we have you have 3 meals a day generally. You have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And if you do that, when I was on carnivore, I didn't really do that. I had like 1.5 maybe because I was just full.
Yeah, so it's working for me. I'll have some fruit sometimes if I know we're going to do ridiculous. We have a comp coming up on March 15th too that I'm competing in Houston. It's a high rocks thing, so it's a lot of cardio stuff, a little bit of weights and stuff. I like on days where we're training for that, I'll have some fruit or something just to give me a little bit, because I'm going to be going into like red level strains in zone 4 and zone 5 for up to 30 minutes at a time, whereas most training days are between maybe getting to zone 4, but mostly zone 2 and 3. So I don't really need, I don't think, but I haven't I'm still getting probably 20 to 30 grams of carbs a day versus 200,
Right. So that's my goal right now. It's about 30 or less grams of carbs. Now, there was a time for my last fight where for about 3 or 4 days, I had 0 carbs and I felt it.
Well, it's different when you're doing it that way versus changing your entire regimen and leaving it that way. Like I would think even to cut weight for a fight, like I think I'm doing this just to kind of weed out BS. I've done it before, but I think I want to stick to it because I really don't eat bad, but if I do, it's something left field, So I would rather just do this consistently and see I want to see what my blood and everything looks like. That's kind of what I'm at right now.
That would be good.
I want to see what it looks like long term for 6 months. And if it looks better than my blood work did 3 months ago, then hey, I'll stick with it. That's why I'm doing it now. But I could see I don't think I could do it and train for a fight and cut weight and stuff. I think I'll cut that 50 pounds and I was still eating rice the whole time. You know what I mean?
Well, you do, because you're eating, for me, my portion control right now is like a third a cup.
Right. That's it. It's just, just shrink it down.
Just shrink it down. So it's funny. I gave one of my guys I train, I gave him a diet plan once, and I was like a third a cup of rice. And I sent it to him in a text, and she goes, Coach, after about a month, he's like, I haven't lost any weight. I've gained some. I was like, buddy, there's no way. Like, what are you doing? It's like I sent him a picture of my diet that I was eating because I was eating clean at the time, and it had my 1/3 a cup and my meal prep, my protein and everything. And he's like, Coach, that's not what I'm eating. And he sent me a picture. 1/3 a cup of rice. He went 1 to 3 cups of rice. That dude is sitting there eating like a cup and a half of rice every meal, and I'm like, that meant 1/3, not 1 to 3.
Not 1 to 3. Hey, bro, we're fighters, man. We're fighters.
No wonder you've gained weight and you haven't lost any.
Yeah. But no, dude, I think I'm excited for you, dude. It's exciting to see it, man. I'm glad. I'm so detached from keeping up with what everyone else is doing because I'm constantly like, I want to put this out for this person, for this person. And then I was scrolling. I was like, dude, holy shit. I've been wanting to talk to him anyways. Look at here. Let's get him on and talk about it.
Yeah, I appreciate you having me on here. Look, it's great. I'm looking forward to this year. I'm looking forward to accomplishing some goals that I've always had, and now I have an opportunity to do them. And then at the end of the year, I'm looking forward to just making people better around me and being able to, hey, Taco Bell has this out. No, I can't. But just being able to enjoy life. I'm closing in on 40, and Father Time waits for no man. And I've taken pretty good care of my body, with the exception of eating like normal people do. But I don't abuse it. I don't put drugs in it. I don't drink or anything of that nature. I've never smoked. But I'm just looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to ending on a high note, and I'm looking forward to seeing the people that I train do better, and that's truly where I'm at. I'm looking forward to, family time and doing that. So
awesome, man. Well, I'm excited, bro.
I am too.
Good luck, man.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thanks for having me on.